The first that I can think of is the massive position that Berkshire has developed and grown in Alphabet, in Google shares. That's something that a lot of people have looked at and said, okay, this is Greg's mark on how he's going to be changing the portfolio. How did the Alphabet position come along?
I initiated it. I mean, I normally wouldn't give you an answer on something like that, but I will because I am not doing anything that he doesn't approve of. He's not doing anything I don't approve of. We talk all the time. He's well, every day. I mean, but he is the decider. And getting back to Alphabet or Google, it's probably number 5 or 6.
Well, I thought it was number 3 if you consider the $10 billion private placement that would go along with that, because that would put it north of $31 billion.
Yeah, but we've got the Burlington Northern Railroad, which is certainly worth far more money than that.
So you're counting fully owned companies as well.
You know, I mean, we are always making the choice between whether we'll buy marketable securities or the company. We look at them the same way. There are some minor exceptions to that. We can't set dividend policy, for example, if we don't own it. But the chances of those being material, the important thing is to buy a good business and to buy it on the right terms and to get a right person to run it.
Okay, but you've quickly grown a north of $30 billion investment in Alphabet. That puts it, in terms of those companies that you own pieces of, behind only Apple and
American
Express. So Coca-Cola would be smaller, Bank of America would be smaller?
It's kind of close. But if you take Coca-Cola, which we've owned, 45 years, whatever it may be, we don't have a thing to do with running that business, but it's a very good business. And when I say a very good business, I mean something that you can expect to earn high returns on capital over a long period of time. Now the question is, when you get into Google, or any of the AI companies, you're putting out huge amounts of money, and I can put huge amounts of money into government bonds and get 20 or 30 or 40 billion dollars a year in terms of payments from them. So a good business is one that earns a lot more than and has prospects of continuing to earn a lot more than the returns on essentially riskless investments, which you could define as treasuries. But if you take something like American Express, most of the banks earn 13, 14% on capital. If I asked everybody to guess what American Express would, they would come up with some figure similar, but it's so different that it earns 30% plus on capital, and it does not incur more risk in doing so than the banks that earn 13 or 14%. And that the trick in life is to find, in investing, is to find businesses that are going to earn high returns on capital for an extended period of time. And that's what happened with Berkshire for a long period of time. A long period of time gets to be very important because those doubles later on are very big numbers. But Charlie Munger, my partner for decades, he just pounded the idea that it wasn't a good business just because it was doing sexy things or whatever it might be, but if it wasn't earning real cash that it would or be expected to do it in a very short period of time, and just be able to distribute it if it wanted to. Better yet, if it could reemploy it as a business, it was even better than one that had the ability to earn high returns, but you couldn't deploy the excess capital of those returns.
Okay, let me ask you though, forever, people have thought of you as somebody who doesn't invest in technology. And by the way, you've described yourself as somebody who doesn't invest in technology. Obviously, the biggest position in the Berkshire portfolio is Apple.